Creating extraordinary success in business and life is absolutely possible. That means more income, more freedom, and more energy for what you value most without the hustle or burnout. I'm Laura Flood, certified success and high performance coach, CEO for over 30 years, and a multiple seven-figure entrepreneur. I've built a profitable, sustainable business while prioritizing my family, my health, and my happiness, and I'm here to help you do the same. This is the Redefining Success podcast, where I'll share the strategies, tools, and the mindset shifts to help you grow with intention, live a life you love, and create lasting happiness, wealth, and freedom without losing yourself in the process. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Redefining Success podcast. As a high achiever, there's a type of pressure that develops as your success grows. It doesn't come from crisis or instability. It comes from all of that new responsibility. As your income stabilizes, more people become connected to your decisions. Clients depend on your judgment. Your family relies on you having consistent results, and your calendar fills up with opportunities and outcomes that matter way beyond you. Over time, your nervous system starts to register all of that weight. And you may not describe yourself as stressed or overwhelmed, but your body remains slightly activated. It's as if something important always needs your attention. That subtle activation becomes your baseline. You wake up thinking about work. You fall asleep reviewing all the things that you need to do the next day. And when you finally sit down to relax, your mind just keeps scanning for what needs your attention next. Nothing's really falling apart, but you rarely feel settled. This is the quiet pressure of high achievement. It's the internal experience of carrying so much responsibility. And at this level, pressure isn't always loud, but it's just there. It hums underneath everything you do. It lives as a tension in your shoulders. What it does is it shapes the pace of your speech and the way you respond to questions. If you're here listening to this podcast, I know that you've probably built something real. Most of you have accomplished so much more than most people will ever dream about. And because it matters so much to you, your body treats it as something that must be protected. So today we're going to talk about what that does to your nervous system, how it shapes leadership identity, and how to recalibrate so your success feels grounded instead of tense all of the time. This isn't a motivation conversation. It's a conversation about regulation and how you can start to feel so much better without sacrificing your results. The moment your success becomes stable, your responsibility starts to expand. And not just financially, but internally. You stop thinking about how to make it work, and now you start thinking about how to keep it working. And that changes how your body operates. I recently coached a business owner who said she wakes up at 4:12 every morning. Not 4:10 or 4:15, but 4:12 a.m. No alarm. Her eyes just would open and her brain starts reviewing. And she said she didn't wake up panicking. She wakes up reviewing everything that she has going on. She would mentally walk through her client roster or replay a conversation from the day before. She starts to think about a proposal that already went out. And nothing's wrong. Her revenue is strong. Her systems are working. Her body just believes that it needs to stay one step ahead. When we unpacked it, she said something that stuck with me. She said, "I don't feel stressed. I just feel so responsible." That's the quiet pressure. It's not always very loud, but it's that pressure that's always there running in the background. And if you've built something meaningful, your nervous system adapts to that constant hum. You get used to being slightly alert. You answer quickly because you don't want things to pile up. You review one more time before sending, or you keep your phone close to you even when you don't need to. Over time, your body starts living in preparation mode, and preparation feels productive until it starts to feel heavy. So here's something simple to notice. When you wake up in the morning, what is your first thought? Is it spacious? Are you excited about the day? Or are you already evaluating something? Because that right there, that tells you your baseline. If your baseline is always thinking or anticipating, your system hasn't recalibrated yet. So here's the thing, you don't have to slow down your ambition. You just need to teach your body that stability is safe. And here's a good practice to implement. Tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't reach for your phone immediately. I want you to stay in bed for a few minutes and take 10 slow, deep breaths and just be there. Don't be in your head, just be there breathing. When you do this, you're training your nervous system that the day doesn't require you to immediately jump into defense. These small, quiet moments like that will change your baseline tone, and that's how this work begins. I want to talk about the weight that we carry from being the one people always count on. At higher levels of success, people don't just hire you, they count on you. Your income probably supports your household, maybe even some extended family or your team members. And your decisions have a ripple effect. And even when no one is demanding more from you, your internal standard rises. You think, if I let something slip up, it affects more than just me. And that awareness alone, that just sits in your body. I had a client describe it this way. She said, if I drop the ball, it's not just a mistake. It can have an impact on so many other people. And nothing catastrophic has ever happened in her business, but still she felt like she could never afford to relax. We mapped out her weekly behavior and we found something interesting. She was checking her CRM metrics every night before bed. There wasn't an issue, she just liked knowing. And that nightly check, it told her nervous system that we're safe. So what we did was we removed it for 1 week, and she told me that she felt on edge for 3 days. But by day 5, she forgot about it. Her business kept running, her clients stayed engaged, and what shifted was her internal grip. The nervous system doesn't release control instantly, but it releases gradually. So this week, I want you to identify one behavior that you do to reassure yourself that things are okay. Not because it's necessary, but because it feels stabilizing. And then I want you to pause it for 5 days. Notice what comes up, because most of the time people feel discomfort, and that discomfort is not danger. It's just your identity loosening its grip. And real leadership doesn't have to require you to hold everything that tightly. You can sense when someone is carrying internal tension, even if they're experienced and capable. It shows up in subtle ways. The pace of their speech speeds up slightly. They respond before a question fully lands. And to them, silence feels like something that needs to be managed. There's nothing wrong with that, but it reflects a body that's operating in preparation or reactive mode. Now, I want you to picture a different kind of presence. Someone walks into a room without rushing. They listen fully before answering. They don't feel the need to add extra explanation to strengthen their point. Their words are calm and clear, and you can just sense their confidence. That vibe, it changes how people respond. Clients relax, teams become more focused, and conversations are so much easier because there's not this extra energy layered on top of them. This shift has very little to do with strategy and almost everything to do with physiology. When your body feels like it must stay slightly engaged at all times, your communication carries that tone. You may write longer emails than necessary or over-clarify details that were already understood. This might look like you stepping in to fix something that actually doesn't need to be fixed. But when your system feels grounded, your decisions become cleaner because then you're not trying to manage every possible outcome in advance. One of my realtor clients began noticing this during listing appointments. On days when he was moving really quickly from task to task just before walking into that meeting, he felt sharp, but he felt really internally tight. He would cover every angle in his presentation, but the conversation just felt heavier, like it wasn't really landing. He wasn't really connecting with these people. But when he took the time and he arrived early and he gave himself a little space to breathe before stepping inside, something shifted. He didn't adjust his slides or his pitch, he adjusted his state. The conversations that he was having then, they felt more simple, and clients trusted him without needing as much explanation or him selling himself. His results improved because his presence felt stable. That kind of authority doesn't come from doing more. It comes from carrying less tension. So here's a practical way to begin. Before your next important meeting, I want you to take a couple of minutes and I want you to just sit quietly, just for a few minutes with both feet planted on the floor. I want you to really focus on letting your breath slow down enough so you can feel your body settle. Notice if your chest feels lifted or if your shoulders are slightly engaged. Notice if your jaw is clenched. Whatever your body does when you start to get in that stressful mode, I want you to notice that and then just release that naturally. Then I want you to check one thing internally. Are you trying to control the outcome before the conversation has even started? This happens a lot with high achievers. If you are, pause. Give your body a moment to relax and to actually be calm. You don't need to eliminate the desired outcome, but you do need to remove the edge behind it. At the end of your workday, create a clear stopping point. Close your laptop fully, stand up, just move into a different room if you're at home. I want you to take a brief walk, let your body register that the day has ended. Because without a defined endpoint, your nervous system remains partially engaged. When this happens over weeks and months, that partial engagement becomes your default. And leadership at this level requires refinement, not force. When your body feels settled, your voice carries confidence without effort. And that's the kind of presence that people follow. As an entrepreneur, you can build something amazing that works, but you can still feel slightly activated inside it. And that doesn't mean that your business needs an overhaul, but it does mean that your nervous system has learned to carry responsibility for a long time, and it's never adjusted to stability. When you're the one making all of the decisions that shape your revenue and all of your outcomes, your body just starts to adapt to that stress. It stays engaged and prepared. It assumes that something will always require you. And after enough years, that engagement, it starts to feel normal. I see some people, they mistake this for ambition. And, you might even believe that it's just part of your drive. But what you're feeling is your body trying to protect what you've built. And protection, when it runs long enough, it starts to feel like your identity. This is where the evolution happens. You don't need to lower your standards, and you don't have to want less. You just need to refine how you carry what you've already created. Imagine waking up and your first thought isn't jumping right into your business or thinking about fires that you need to put out today. Imagine sitting in a conversation and allowing space without feeling the urge to fill it. Now imagine finishing your workday and actually feeling finished. This is the result that my clients get over and over again, and it makes me so happy because those shifts change more than your stress level. They change your leadership. When your body feels settled, your decisions feel cleaner. Your communication feels stronger and your presence carries more weight. Your business reflects that. And here's the deeper layer. Your family feels it. Your clients, they notice it. But most importantly, you feel it. Success begins to feel natural in your life, not something that you're constantly managing. Success feels easier and it's integrated into who you are. This work is subtle, but you'll start to notice it in your breathing and the way that you move throughout the day. It'll show up in the quiet decisions about how much tension you're actually willing to carry. And with repetition, those choices reshape your internal set point, and then your body, it adjusts to a new normal. You still move with ambition and high standards. This refinement happens in how your body holds the responsibility that comes with them. That's the evolution of leadership at this level. When you have this much success, it's really hard to see your own patterns clearly. When you've been carrying responsibility for years, what feels normal to you, often it's not neutral, it's just familiar. And this is where coaching becomes so powerful. We look at how you're carrying the weight of responsibility internally, and we identify where your nervous system is staying engaged for longer than it needs to. And then we uncover where you've normalized internal pressure. We work together to refine your structure so you're not carrying all of that unnecessary tension while you lead. And this isn't surface level strategy. This is the kind of refinement that changes how leadership feels. So if this episode felt personal, that's usually a sign that you're ready for a deeper recalibration. And the link, I'm going to put that in the show notes for you to apply for private coaching. So this is the kind of work that speaks to high achievers who have been carrying more than they want to admit. Success changes you. Responsibility over all these years, it shapes how you move through life. And over time, how you carry your success becomes just as important as the success itself, because you've already proven that you can create results. The next level is creating them without carrying all that unnecessary tension. That shift doesn't require you to slow down your ambition. Leadership at this level is less about effort and more about embodiment. You deserve to experience the success that you've worked for in a way that feels powerful in your life and grounded in your body. And you're closer to that version of leadership than you realize. Thanks again for listening today, and I'll see you in the next episode.